Hello, everybody. I wanted to speak quickly today, and I believe this is going to be a bit contentious, considering what was just said about 30 seconds ago. But I want to speak quickly about something that has been on my mind recently. About 2 weeks ago, my grandmother passed away after a very, very long fight with a lot of things that come with getting older. And it has been very, very difficult in very obvious ways. And it's reminded me how much a single life can just upend everybody around them and just change entire families over a moment. And 2 weeks ago, I was speaking about life and death and how we don't seem to value life a lot, how certain political actors don't seem to value life when it's not convenient, and how this is something I see across the political spectrum. From people who are less concerned that climate change is going to hit certain areas they don't care about, to that cities are more dangerous and the people who live there I care less about. On every side of the political spectrum, I see this. And I've seen this with the situations and going on in the Middle East. And I did refer to Gaza directly. And while talking about that, I made the point that life and death can never be treated as trivial. And neither can the response to life and death. In a very, very blunt way, there is mass death in the Middle East right now. Mass death. People losing their families. People in America losing loved ones who are currently living there. And I am not going to judge their response to that issue as long as it's a peaceful protest. If it is violent, that obviously complicates things. But this is what peaceful protesting is for. This is what it's about. And personally, and I say this as a Jewish person, but by no means an expert in Jewish culture or in Israel, I think it is a little inappropriate to call this childish or naive in any way, shape, or form. The fact that students all over the country are protesting something that they see as mass death, that literally is mass death, makes me really empathize with the fact that I might not understand the decisions they're making, but they are making decisions that they feel need to be made. And I might see that as naive, but maybe I am naive as well. When I first saw these protests, one of my first thoughts was, how are these going to change anything? How are protests on college campuses going to change anything? And the other day, 2 colleges announced that they had come to terms with their protesters to disable their encampments peacefully while giving in to certain demands but not others. Actual action was taken. Not the perfect action the protesters wanted, but things changed. Things actually changed. And in light of all of this, I find it so easy to look at kids being angry about something you don't get and treat it as naive and trivial. And this goes for groups that I don't agree with. This goes for groups who are pro-Trump. This goes for groups that are anti-abortion. And in this case, it obviously goes for groups that are pro-Israel and groups that are pro-Palestinian. To treat trivial and naivety as a mark against protests is to take the actual conversation about their appropriateness out of the realm of peacefulness and into the realm of effectiveness and if we think it's the right way to do it. And we cannot tell people they can't protest because we think that they are protesting the wrong thing or we think they're protesting the wrong way. And that is something I've deeply learned on this corner. And I do believe that moving forward, it is important to understand that when situations like these happen, people may be coming into this feeling trivial about these things, not taking these things seriously. But to assume that that is the major position of anybody involved, I think immediately lets us turn our back on the real conversations that need to be had. Not if they're good, not if the protests are the protests I would like, but what they mean, what they represent, what they're trying to accomplish. And we can actually talk about these things in real ways.